going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So in this video, I have the PsiOps Cosmodrome Battlegrounds solo GM. I'm using a Sunbreaker Titan with the Path of Burning Steps. As you can see, I have a healing grenade and then Ember of Empyrean, so this will extend our restoration. I've got a Blinding GL with the Lingering Dread from Duality Dungeon, and then a fixed odds solar machine gun for ad clear, and then of course the Polaris lance. Yeah, so this is very similar to the other Battleground build I had with Dawn Chorus, with some tweaks, and obviously it's on a Titan, so the explosions aren't as big because I didn't totally build into explosions. I would say this is the most annoying GM to solo this season. It's just so long and so many ads. Like, Battlegrounds aren't the best for solos in my opinion. But as you can see, Polaris Lance puts in crazy work. We get an early ignition, and yeah. So these barrier servitors, you just kind of have to wait till they're in a good position, like right there. And now the reason I'm running Path of Burning Steps, look, I have solar weapon boost times 3. So as you get solar weapon kills, also if you get a solar grenade kill, it will go straight to times 4, but I have healing grenades. But now you can see I've got times 4, so as you get solar weapon kills, that stacks up. But ignitions caused by weapons, so like Polaris Lance, the ignition kills will actually go towards that solar weapon boost. So you don't need any solar surge, and because so it frees up the slot on your boots. So you don't need solar surge, and you don't need to pick up the orbs to get it. You just slay out as you normally would. So here I throw the healing grenade down, and then I'm just doing a bunch of ad clear with my machine gun. And you want to get this thing as far as you can. You need to get to 33 to spawn the brig. Now, unfortunately, I was actually so quick on the barrier section, I don't have my super yet. But basically, I do what I was doing there, take out all the ads with my machine gun, and then I will pop a super to get the rest of the way, and then I use the super to get out. If you don't get to 33 on the brig, then those vandals and stuff will just keep spawning. But once you hit 33 and draw in the brig, then those vandals will actually despawn. So I was at 27 on the payload progress. I like to get kills and then stand in my sunspot because that's going to make my super last longer. Now the brig is up, so we easily used our super there to get the payload to 33 to where it needs to be. So now these enemies spawn in over here. So again, I'm going to throw a healing grenade and then slay out. So Ember of Empyrean is extending that restoration. And yeah, 4 different skiff ships come in and drop enemies. So we're just going to be taking them all out. So here's the 3rd wave. And then the 4th one should spawn, yeah, right away. So again, I've got solar weapon boost times 4. So that's a 25% damage boost just for getting kills with my machine gun, which I would be doing anyways. Which is why I quickly go focus the brig while I have that times 4 weapon boost. Anytime I'm radiant or have the weapon boost or both, I like to be shooting the brig just to save on ammo because he doesn't have a crit. So the machine gun's actually pretty good for chunking him down, as is your super, and then when the crit opens up, you just go with Polaris Lance. So you can see my Lingering Dread, it's got auto-loading chill clip with disorienting grenades, so it's like a perfect god roll. So yeah, the disorienting grenades work really good, pretty much throughout this whole strike actually, but you can see it working really nicely on the captain there. So what I can do here, or what I was trying to do, was proc an ignition on that servitor when I had his shield down, but unfortunately he blinked away. So right now I'm just trying to kind of take out the ads so that I can get my super quicker. Because once I have my super, that's really good for chunking that brig down. So there, again, you can see Polaris Lance doing crazy work. You can beat this GM on other loadouts, like without Polaris Lance and stuff. But in my opinion, it's just the easiest. It is the fastest, is the big thing. And this is already close to an hour-long run for me. Other people have done it quicker. But yeah, this GM just in general is very long and annoying. So it's not one that I would farm and use like some funny loadouts on. Like Devil's Lair is my favorite. I soloed it a bunch of times last season just because I enjoy it so much. So here I have my super, but I also had Radiant. So I didn't want to pop my super quite yet. I wanted to get some machine gun shots in with Radiant first, just to take advantage of that 25% weapon boost. And then here, again, stand in your sunspot the entire time because your super will last longer. And then we timed it just perfectly. That last hammer took his front shield down, and Polaris Lance actually stun locks him. So that is the big reason Polaris Lance is so nice in this GM. Obviously for the ease of ignitions, and there's a crap ton of enemies in this GM, but also due to the fact it can stun lock. So it's amazing on the Brig, as you can see. We don't even have to worry about it shooting at us. But it's also amazing on the final boss because he likes to hide a lot. He is a giant pussy. So it's really nice being able to stun lock him and get a bunch of damage in before he can like hide behind cover. So barrier servitors, you can see you can hit their crits with Polaris Lance, which is great, but barrier knights you cannot. I have reported this issue to Bungie because in the past you could. So I don't know when it changed, but it's really damn annoying that you can't hit the crit. So anyways, you can see we're very close to super, which is awesome because it comes in really handy for this next part as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my machine gun ammo now because for some reason this heavy ammo crate does not fill up all your weapons. It gave me only 57 ammo, where other weapon crates, like in the other GM this season, the moon one, they do fill you up completely. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but that's why I went and grabbed it. And then here, I'm just going to try to slay out on these ads as long as I can. So I throw a blinding nade, blinds them all, do my restoration and Empyrean, wait for these shanks to come down, keep transporting the payload, and then we pop super just to be safe. I could have kept slaying out a little bit, but I have my super. In my opinion, this is the best spot to use the super. And then I think at about 63 or maybe 67, the hive spawn in. So I just dipped there because I like to just sit back and take out the hive. It's a little safer, but you can just use Ember of Empyrean and your solar machine gun and just go ahead and slay up there as well. So I should be reloading my machine gun. It's got enhanced incandescent, enhanced field prep, so a ton of reserves, and it reloads really quickly when I crouch. So I absolutely love this thing, and it's a rock star normally, but especially this season. So there was some cursed thrall on the other side of the payload there, and I almost died. My build, obviously I have Raise of Precision, so I'm just trying to get precision kills, because boom, right there you can see a crap ton of enemies taken out with the ignition. So the thing with ignitions is they scale on, like, they scale to the application of the Scorch. And Scorch stacks with things like Radiant and Weapon Surge. So when I have Radiant and ×4 weapon boost, that means my ignition is also going to do more damage because it was applied from a weapon. So that ignition that I caused, that was a ×4, so 25% weapon damage boost, and Radiant, which is 25%. So my ignition was dealing whatever 1.25 times 1.25% is. It's not additive, it's multiplicative. But yeah, so this build is super underrated. I haven't seen many people running Path Burning Steps, but it's basically the best pairing to use if you're going to use like the typical Dawn Chorus setup that you've been seeing, because it's just free weapon damage for doing what you'd already be doing. This is a very weapon focused build because of Polaris Lance. Like, there's not much in terms of abilities. It's not like Sunbracers or something. So yeah, I think this is the best thing to run. You could also run Lorelei Splendor if you're worried about dying. So you'll have better survivability, but not as much firepower, basically. And like I said, it procs from like any distance. Like if I get an ignition from super deep downtown, I'm gonna get that ×3, maybe even ×4 solar weapon surge off one ignition. And then I have a damage boost from safety, where normally you have to pick up an orb to get that damage boost. So here we proc a nice ignition on the ogre, and that takes out a bunch of the thrall. And then we just keep doing that. We had ×3 solar surge and radiant thanks to Flint Striker, and then kindling triggers applying the scorch. And like I said, scorch damage scales based on the application, so we're doing more scorch damage. So yeah, this is a very good synergistic build. Again, it's basic, you've probably seen it a lot now, but it doesn't mean it's not strong. There's a reason you're seeing it, especially so much this season, because the artifact is super tailored to solar. And yeah, like I said, if I was running this on a Titan, I think this is the best build to go with. So once you take all those out, there's just one more thrall here, or two I guess, and then once I kill them, we're gonna get another ad spawn, and this is the one with the barrier knights. So you want, and the wizard. Oh, there must be one other ad up. Yeah, there was. So I'm gonna go get some ammo instead, because until I kill this thrall, no ads are gonna spawn. And then once I do, they spawn. And then the goal is to take out that first barrier knight, because these barrier knights, as they push up, they can actually be a bit of a problem. So I'm looking to land crits on him right away. There I find the ogre, cause an ignition. There's the knight. So that's who I want to focus on. But now I've got this other knight on the right side. He's trying to creep up. I'm going to try to get that knight. So I was actually stun locking him before he could put up his shield, which is massive. Because if he puts up his shield, I can't hit crits, which really screws with Polaris Lance, or I would have had to bust out my machine gun to quickly break the shield. But I'm able to get one knight down, which is huge. Now I can get this other knight. I actually get a stun on that ogre, which is awesome. So that was really textbook. Sometimes those knights can cause big issues because they kind of get to where that ogre's standing now, and they shoot their arc blasters, and you're just over here. You can kind of back up to try to like land your crits and stuff. That's another thing. The ignitions. Ignitions do stun unstoppables, but as you can see there, they like glitch out. Sometimes it doesn't work. It takes a big delay. So even though it's stunned, it'll like keep shooting you. Yeah, like maybe I hit the edge of the wall with my perfect fifth shot there. I'm not sure. But yeah, just it's very inconsistent. It's a little frustrating. It can cause death sometimes, so you just have to be really careful and cognizant of the fact that you sometimes have to wait a little bit to ensure that the ogre stops shooting at you. So this wizard, same type of thing. It loves to just freaking dive, dip, duck, dodge, and dive around. But eventually, as long as you can land a perfect fifth shot and get an ignition, then you're going to stagger it. So I think, yeah, right here I might. No. Yeah, very annoying. That's what you wait for. Once it's in the super, it stops doing that crap. And then as you get it super low, you start creeping up because you're going to have to finish the ghost. And that is it for that part. So yeah, 13 minutes just for the opening part. Again, this is quite the slog of a GM. And then the next room, I just hang out by the doorway, and I do pretty much the same thing you just saw. I just plink away at all the ads, trying to get ignitions off, to do mass ad clear, and yeah. So you will see that strategy.
Shame we have to fight the local Elixni. The enemy of your enemy is not always your friend.
So I like to use my super when I can, because there's not a ton of good opportunities to. Also, yeah, their shield. You'd think being radiant, maybe you could like throw your hammer through that little shield the knights put up, but you can't. But yeah, so I like to use my super there to do some ad clear, because it does not take long to get a super on this part, because you're causing so many ignitions. See, like, you can shoot through the shield, because you get anti-barrier when you're radiant, but your hammers don't go through the shields. So yeah, the big goal is on those orange bars, or the wizards, or the champions, like that unstoppable there. You want to proc ignitions off them. So land your crits, and Razor Precision is really nice here too. Like I think on that Acolyte I just caused an ignition just because I was radiant and got a crit. crit kill, sorry, which caused an ignition. So yeah, basically you're just playing safe. The blinding nades are actually really nice for this part, because like that orange bar knight that was over there, I'm able to just blind him and then he stops shooting for a bit, because there you can see they're quite annoying when they're shooting, as is the yellow bar wizards. So yeah, that's why I went with a blinding GL in this strike. So those wizards aren't even overly strong, as you can see. I melted it pretty quick with a machine gun. And like I was saying, I almost already have a super up, just because of like the mass amount of ad clear that you have to do. So here, that's the other nice thing. So then they do that where they like put their hand in front of their face. So that gives you time to break their shield and hopefully proc an ignition with Polaris Lance. So that was textbook, because if they're not blinded, they move a lot. So it can be very tough to land your crits. First you got to take their shield down, which the machine gun's great for. So here I'm being very careful, because I don't know if that unstop is actually stunned. So he was, but like I said, you can never be too sure. And yeah, we had a really nice ignition chain there. We got a ton of stuff down. And then that's why I went for the wizard first before that other unstoppable, because now that second unstop spawns in, I'm able to proc an ignition off the first unstop, and then it stuns them both and damages them both. Same with on this side. There's two unstops. Like that first unstop has been there for a long time. I just haven't looked over there because I'm waiting for the second one to spawn in, and then you can deal with them both at the same time. So it's just a bit of a time save thing. Unfortunately, they do really hug that pillar, but here I get the stun, and then they do that wacky thing, and then yeah, you just kind of keep laying into them. So again, you can kill two birds with one stone. That's like the definition of it right there, because they're right side by side each other. And then I use my throwing hammer to proc revitalizing blast, which is a 15% weaken. So it's going to take that first guy out first. Then we get the ignition, and boom, two ogres down at the exact same time, where I would have had to do that twice, and then I only had to do it once. So in here, you just have to clean up the rest of the ads. So it's another, like once the champions are down. So this is a very good opportunity to use your super. And then we had those other ads spawn in. So now it's just rinse, repeat again. And then I think after this wave is the wave where you get the barrier knights. So we just have to get a couple more enemies down, and then we will spawn them. So I've got a perfect fifth shot, but unfortunately nothing to shoot at. It lasts longer than I thought it would. I was surprised I got a perfect fifth off there. So you do have some leeway. So if you hear that little shot, try to make sure you use the most of it, or like make the best of it. Because if you're Radiant and you land that perfect fifth shot, Kindling Trigger is going to apply like 40 some Scorch or something with Ember of Ashes. And then Perfect Fifth applies 60 with Ember of Ashes. So if you land that Perfect Fifth shot, you're going to get an immediate ignition. And that's huge. Especially because you're so pigeonholed here. Like, you don't have a lot of room to work with, as you can clearly see. So there again, being Radiant, so nice. You put up the shield, and then yeah, you can just shoot right through it. So that's really what this is all about, is just using Polaris Lance to its max potential and just getting ignitions in those corners. Again, I almost have a super up already. So I pre-throw my restoration grenades so that I can hopefully kind of stand in and get 5 crits off. But unfortunately, I don't think I shot it far enough to hit that wizard, because the wizard dipped. Unfortunately there, I wasn't Radiant, so that crit on that Acolyte didn't spawn an ignition. But because we took out so many ads, we have a super again already. Ideally, you want to take out at least one of the wizards, because when 2 wizards are up, they shoot their little arc blast at the door, and it makes it really hard to put in any kind of meaningful damage. So I know I'm going for that knight, but I should be going for the wizard behind it right here, just to get 1 down, because they're so annoying. But I did hit enough crits with my machine gun there, 2 proc radiant from Flint Striker, or whatever. Yeah, Flint Striker. So yeah, this part is literally just waiting on your opportunity. Just try to get there. Boom. Blinded the knight. And we made an ignition. And it killed the wizard. So that was perfect. Now we finally get the knights. So I'm radiant and I know that, so I'm just going to town right away with my machine gun, because you basically need to break their shield once and then get that ignition off. Once you do that once, then you're usually pretty good to go. Maybe not. See there, I almost die. But you do want to try to get that knight down as quick as possible. Because if you lose Radiant, I don't have anything anti-barrier. Like you can see, all my weapons are anti-barrier right now because Radiant's proc. But I don't have anything to deal with that guy. That's why I like to melt him as quick as possible, because he's just not in a great spot. Like while he's there, you can't really do much. But now that he's down, I can focus on this ogre. Ogres are super easy to proc ignitions on, because they have a huge crit and they're pretty easy to like manipulate, but they don't move around like those wizards and knights do. So you can just really lay into them and proc your ignitions. And they have so much health that, yeah, you can just like keep proccing ignitions on them. So they're really nice to have up, honestly. They help you more than they hurt you if you're dealing with them right. Now I have a super up, and we're going to use that and take out the rest of the ads, and there's just one anti-barrier on the other side. See, he's shooting at us now. So I back up because those orange bar knights are tanky and they will kill you, and I wasn't sure if I stood in, if my super was going to last long enough or do enough damage to take them all out. Fortunately, I think it took like all but one, and yeah, there he is. Oh, maybe there was 2 up. But anyway, that was good super usage. That was unfortunate. Man, the freaking teleporting ads this season. Let me know down in the comments if you've been noticing it. Like there again, he freaking ports. And I think the ogre on the final boss room ports on me a lot. Like it's been bad this season. Very frustrating. It killed me on a corrupted run right at the end of the final boss too. Just a teleporting ad, just nonsense. So it's quite unfortunate. So once all the ads are dealt with, champions are super easy. So I use my revitalizing blast from my melee there. Got radiant going. So you can see just how good Polaris lands chunks. That's why you want to use it. It is a primary weapon that can deal a crap ton of damage thanks to, well, with Path of Burning Steps especially, but just thanks to its ignition damage. So it's, especially this season, it's like second to none. But even outside of this season, like it's a wonderful primary. And on a nightfall like this, you need something that can put out good boss damage as a primary, because this boss is so tanky. Like, we have solo operative. That's why I'm actually... So 2 reasons I'm soloing all the GMs this season. Solo operative is 15% to everything. So it's much easier to do this season than when you don't have solo operative. And then also it's a super long season. So making my own content, and like I enjoy it. It's a fun challenge. You learn the enemy spawns really good. Like if you want to learn a Nightfall in and out, solo it from start to finish. That is the best way to learn. You will learn. So for some reason, I don't know what the heck happened there, but I actually cast my super off the ground, so I didn't make a sunspot. So you can see like how much shorter it lasts. So the sunspot makes a big difference. But yeah, this, like I said, you just sit back and plink away on this guy until his health is pretty much around where it's at. He should be teleporting soon. But again, there's a bunch of ads that spawn with him, and the ignitions just make super short work of them. So, yeah. There are a lot of nightfalls that I like to run for fun. Like I said, Devil's Lair is like my favorite. I'll run that with all kinds of meme loadouts. But this is one where you definitely want to run the meta. You don't want to get cute with it. You can, but it's going to be a slog. Like I said, this is a pretty optimized setup, and it's still close to an hour. So the boss room I died a couple times. You have to get used to how to move with the spear. One time I literally tried spear blinking and I just died. So right there, I just procced Radiant in time. So now we can shoot through his barricade. It's a Lucent Hive Knight, so he has barricades. And then you don't have to go where I go, but that is a spot where you'll never get hit. And those shield throws have some very strong tracking. So pretty much every time he throws one, you'll see me ducking down there because I'm taking no chances. Again, I died a couple times in the boss room, so you play extra safe once you've died a couple times because it just takes a while to even get there, and then to die on boss phase really sucks. So yeah, you want to know how to move with the spear, and then obviously how to dodge the Savathun projection arc blast. It's not that hard, but it does take some getting used to. Like the Lightblade guy does the same. So you can practice on him, like at the start of Lightblade. I do that, like I'll just strafe his stuff for fun. Well, not really. It's not like I go in there and do it, but I was doing testing one time, like last season, I think. And yeah, I was doing a whole bunch of different testing, so I was just, yeah, going back and forth. So it's a learned skill for sure, but a lot of the projectile, well, pretty much all the enemies in this game shoot projectiles, and most of them are dodgeable, like in some way. Not entirely, and like the Night Blasters, they have AoE, so you're kind of screwed there. And then the Scorn Raiders are so freaking annoying, because their little void blades travel like, I don't know if ellipses is the right word, but they're not in a straight line, so they can hit you even if you're like dodging them properly, and they come up shooting from their immunity in the ground, which is crap, and I'll talk about it in my Birthplace of the Vile run. But right there, that is one thing that a GL is so nice for. Like, he will hide there until he takes damage. So he's basically baiting you to walk up and challenge him. But you can bounce your grenades and then do damage, and then he comes out in the super, and then there again, we want to start shooting as soon as his super's out. He does 3 sets of 2 shield throws. So on that 3rd shield throw, you want to get up there right away, because look, I'm stun locking him here. He wants to get back behind cover, and he is slowly creeping there. We're able to get a lot of damage in, where if you don't have something that can stun lock like that, you're not going to get much damage in at all. And then we get lucky because he goes to the left, and we get like some ignition damage off that Acolyte. So anyway, we deal some damage to him, so now he's right back into his super, and he can't even hit us because of the angle he's at. Unfortunately, when he comes out, we can't really hit him either because of the angle he's at. But it is what it is. So we're getting close to the first Savathun projection part now. So there, I did land that GL. Again, that's just something, if you're not used to GLs, I mean, I'm not perfect, I don't shoot it perfectly, but I'm doing my best. But yeah, it's just a feel thing. But it's not the easiest shots to hit, but it gives you the best chance. Like, what other weapon, no hit scan weapon could you shoot that would get him out of there right now? I also could pop my super, but there we land a GL. But yeah, you could pop your super here and go up and get him to the next phase. But again, I was just playing very carefully, because when you do your super, or like creep up on him, sometimes he throws a grenade, But his grenade his suppressor grenades there, his grenade animation is sometimes super hard to see. Like, you can't telegraph it at all. And yeah, it killed me once because I just got a little overzealous and just didn't see him throw it, in all honesty. But anyway, he came back out, and now we get him to the next phase. So we're just doing some ad clear, and I'm hitting some crits here, getting my perfect fifth ready for this unstoppable to spawn. So he's taking a really long time, or else he already... Oh yeah, there, boom. So he just TP'd on me, just randomly. Super, super annoying. But yeah, so this guy sucks ass. There, now he teleports again. So here's what I was talking about with like dodging the shots. It's not that hard. Basically, like, she will shoot where you move to. So if I... See? It saw me strafing left, then it aimed left, then I strafe right, then it aims right. If I don't move at all, and just keep it in a straight line for a long time, and then just move it the last second. Yeah, like I said, it's not too difficult to do, but you do need some practice at it. So I was very excited because I was like, oh good, I'm gonna get this friggin' ogre. And then it goes and disappears again, which is really unfortunate because I don't know where it is and I don't have an unstoppable. So you really want to kill it from back here, but I might end up running up using my super and doing a finisher since it was so low. But this is just, essentially, it's just a big time loss. I don't know how I didn't get hit by that last arc blast there. Oh, also, you don't really want to use your towering barricade there because the arc blasts will, like, they have big AoE and they'll hit that. Yeah, so there's the stupid ogre, and he wasn't quite finishable. But anyway, your super is also really good for like surviving because at the start, Savathun really hangs out on that spear. So I definitely recommend using a super to grab that first spear. And you can see like it all worked out fine in the end, but like where did that ogre come from and like why are the ads teleporting so much this season? Very frustrating. But like I said, we got it down. Now Savathun's still hanging around. This is why, well, in that opening area you needed the restoration and Empyrean for the payload, but here is where healing grenades are also really nice. And as you can see, you can take a couple shots from these arc blasts without dying. I think I do have arc resist on. I think I have the rainbow. I think I have arc solar and void for this run. So anyway, Savathun's still up close, and she is a big threat. So we throw down the resto nade, because yeah, see that? She throws that Nova Bomb where I would have been heading. So I kind of had to adjust on the fly, and I almost die there. Sometimes, actually beating the solo GM is just a difference between good and bad luck. Like sometimes she is right on top of that spear, and it's almost impossible to get. Or I could have ran into that Nova Bomb that she pre-fired, knowing I was going to run down that lane, but I kind of dipped left, knowing sort of that was coming. But like I said, so now that I've done 2 waves, Savathun Savathun has moved way back, and this makes this part so much easier. So just throw down a little healing grenade, extend my resto, jump, blink, jump. I should have blinked there just to save like a bit more time, because the sooner you get back here, the more throws you have. These spears only last 20 seconds, so you want to get to this platform to throw your spears as fast as you can, within reason. Again, don't die. Like make sure that your jump's gonna make it and whatnot, but yeah, that's the goal. Get back here quickly so that you can get throwing, because the more ammo that you can use, the less time you have to go to the middle to grab it. See, there's what I was saying about the big damage, the big AoE that it does. Like if I was standing close to my barricade, I would have actually taken damage standing behind it, where you can just straight up avoid it because it's not going to hit anything if you're just dodging it. So yeah, stay away from barricades there. So jump blink, jump blink. So 15 seconds, I was turned around and throwing again. If she didn't move and I would have landed and I had to wait, so it delayed me, then maybe, just maybe, I get just enough out of that spear to kill her, because I would have hit probably 2 more there, so it would have been close. So that's what, 4 spears, so it's going to be 5 spears. So yeah, I think if you're perfect, because of solo operative, I think you can get it in 4 spears. But either way, 5's fine. So the reason I'm putting that barricade is you can see I got a chunk of grenade energy from Bomber. And yeah, again, I'm just being safe. I'm only running up here if I have grenade energy. Just in case some ad comes out of nowhere, I can throw down that resto nade and hopefully survive. So that's what I'm always waiting on there. I kind of just strafed a little too fast because I knew she was close to dying. That was textbook. I got a few crits off on that Acolyte, and then I was able to hit a perfect 5th shot right away. And even still, that bastard just runs straight right away. And then I don't quite get the stun in time, and then he's behind cover. And then there's also wizards that apparently can shoot me all the way this far back, but I'm not too concerned about them. So there, I panicked. I saw that void shield coming around the corner, and like I said, they have hella tracking. Didn't know you have to aim super high up there to land your hammer, so I didn't even land a single hammer on that guy. But again, I just cast that as a panic because I thought that void shield was going to track to me. It was sort of tracking my direction, and I was caught off guard by it because it, like, just the way he threw it. So now he got an angle on me, so I go to my safe spot, and you can see the diamond moving. Like, you can see that animation. So that's when I know to come up. Like, you kind of see him go like right throw, left throw, and as soon as that left throw is done, you can kind of pop out and then just start dealing damage. Which you want to do, because if you wait too long, you're not going to get your 5 shots off, and then you can't get a stun lock on him. Even though this guy still is very hard to stun, because I did hit him with the ignition, but he still got behind cover. So now I'm just taking out ads, hoping that he'll move. There was a nice ignition from Rays of Precision. But yeah, so right now I was just cleaning up ads, hoping he'd move. He's not. Now I'm just lobbing grenades, and they're not hitting. Then I'm like, hey, wait, I think I can see him. And yeah, all you gotta do is like 1 tick of damage, and then he starts shooting at you. One weapon that could work decent if you didn't want to use Polaris is Wish Ender. Wish Ender is kind of taking a backseat this season because of Radiant and just how easy it is to have anti-barrier. Plus anti-barrier sidearm with the rocket pistols is really good. But you can use Wish Ender here as well, because it's another primary that can deal damage like a special weapon, much like Polaris Lance. And it's obviously AB, which is great for this, but yeah. So here, I'm just trying to get him to move, trying to land some damage. I have a super, so I'm like, okay, screw it. Pop it in the cover of safety. And here, I'm not worrying about standing in a sunspot at all, because that's when I got killed. I was trying to stand still, and he threw that suppressor nade, and I didn't even see it coming. And those shields actually got close to me, so that was a little dangerous, but we were fine. But yeah, so don't worry about getting a ton of super damage. I was just popping that to get him to move, because he was just playing behind cover. Unfortunately, he ducks just as I get the perfect 5th shot. So yeah, this is where this GM is a fucking bore, I'll be honest. Like, this just... I don't know if I'd call this cheesing, necessarily. Like, you're just standing on the back plate. And this is designed to get you to move around, and in a fire team, that's like no problem. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks solo. I don't like this GM, I'll be honest. And it's, well, kind of just the whole GM. I just don't like how it's set up. What I like about GMs now is, now with the 100 resilience giving 30% DR, and then subclass verbs having anti-champion capability, like slow being able to deal with overloads, freeze, shatter, working on unstoppables. We have more loadout variety than ever. Like, you're not pigeonholed at all. You can run Gerfalcons with some void weapons, and there's your anti-barrier. Not that void is, like, you don't get the surge this season, like the weekly void surge and whatever, but you could run pretty much whatever you like in pretty much any GM. And I know this is niche content, like a lot of people aren't soloing GMs, so you're not pigeonholed if you're in a team. But I like to solo GMs, and I do like to use some more niche builds, we'll say, like still strong and still great, but stuff you don't see every day. Where this one, it's like you're purposely hindering yourself if you're not running Polaris Lance on this GM. And I don't think that's fun. I like when multiple things are viable. Like Quicksilver Storm is an awesome auto rifle, and it's nice when you can use that. But Quicksilver wouldn't be good for shit here, because you're never going to be able to get your grenades, and it doesn't, like, it's got range drop off, and you're fighting this guy like the whole time at range. Again, in a team, you could, but yeah, it's annoying. Like, look at this. This is boring ass gameplay, and I'm sorry. Maybe I should just fast forward it, because this is boring. I'll just slowly skip ahead here. This is all this is, just a game of cat and mouse, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I avoid his shots. There, he was just coming out of his super, so I get Radiant going, but you can't lay on it too long because he's shooting you with his arc blaster. And like 2 hits of that and you're pretty much dead. But yeah, like I said, that's all this is, just cat and mouse. He just likes to sit in his little corner, and you just have to basically wait it out. So now he pops a super, we go and hide, I pop a barricade, now I take out some ads, and we're pretty much right back where we were and where we've been for this whole phase. I do a tiny little shot on his leg, get him to waste his super. And finally, let's see what happened there. I actually did get an angle. I'm able to get a perfect 5th shot off, thank God. And then another one. And then we get him to move. So yeah, that's extremely boring, and it puts a huge damper on an already kind of shitty GM. So yeah, like I said, this is the worst one, in my opinion, to farm this season. The Birthplace of the Vile boss room is extremely frustrating as well because of the raiders and their bullshit come up shooting, always going immune for like 5 seconds. You think they're gonna pop up and they don't. There, I just could not get a stun on that unstop because I'm worried about the arc blast, which you should be. That is, like, that will kill you. But luckily, he comes back to mid. And then we get an ignition stun. Savathun was way off on that shot. But then he does sneak behind cover. So again, that wasn't played perfectly. But that's where a sniper is nice here. Something like Succession with Reconstruction Vorpal. Once you get that stun, you'd have Radiant as well. And then you can pump in some sniper shots. But I went with the utility of the Blinding GL for the bank shots, and you saw how good it worked in that second room. But yeah, a sniper is also a good idea to run here and would probably be a little quicker. But if you want safety, disorienting grenades are wonderful. So once that unstops down, now it's just a matter of running up here. So jump, blink, blink. You're there, 15 seconds on your thing. She threw a Nova Bomb. And then yeah, you just pelt her with the spear. And then she actually backs up again, kind of like in the first phase. Which makes going to get the spear, like these spears are easier to get than that first spear. And that second boss damage phase is also like the most annoying. So if you get to this part, I don't want to say you're home clear, but like look at where Savathun's shooting, not even like shooting at me anymore. So I'm just trying to clear off this ad so that I'm not getting shot in the back when I go up to get my spear. And then I'm just leaving those ads up because they're not a huge threat, but it could be valuable to take them out too. Sorry, I had to take a drink, freaking talking for 45 minutes straight. So again, you always want a restoration grenade in your back pocket just in case Savathun lands some arc shots as you like go to pick up that spear. So there, I'm able to get a nice ignition and take out like 5 or 6 acolytes. So now it's super safe to head up. And there, I'm just finding my route. So I knew Savathun was like shooting. There I turned around at 16 as well. So again, the more you can get off in one spear, the better, obviously. So now some acolytes are creeping back over there. That's why I'm never too concerned with taking them out, because in GMs, as you take out ads, then just more ads spawn in. I'm not sure the exact numbers on it, but that is how it works. So again, it was nice I had that ignition and then I have a safe entry point. But I'm never focused on like making sure every ad is dead. Like I said, I'd rather just have a healing grenade on me. But those guys, I'm just playing a little extra cautious because like I said, once you're at this point, you don't want to die. I'm like, okay, I'll take him out. Take him out, now it's safe. Wait on that arc blast. Go there because she has no line of sight. So you can kind of see, like you could see where they didn't have line of sight. And you can kind of sneak in those spots. That's where you want to be. Because when she does get line of sight, that's when she shoots that arc stuff. And it's fine to avoid back here, but it's really hard when you're like running up there. Very hard to avoid. So now I go and get that same one. And there's actually 2 strats you can do, because now that that one's down, I could take out those ads on the left and actually just throw from this pillar. But my strat, I was just comfortable over here. And I'm able to get there and again, get throwing at like 15 every time. So we're just going to speed that up, because you know what it is. Take out some ads, make sure my entry point's safe. Grab the spear. Rinse, repeat. Looking for ads, make sure it's safe. There's still those 2 up there, like they've been. Make my jump. Again, that's where you just want to be confident with moving with the spear. Know how to use that grenade blink jump. I grab it, turn, jump, blink, drift, blink, and boom. Throwing at 15 every time. And I just had enough. Because if you remember, when I took out that first projection, I did get 1 more spear throw. So that worked really good. That was quite clean. And then again, hit some crits and try to get a perfect 5th on him as soon as possible. I'm not worrying about that wizard shooting me too much because I want to keep this bastard in the open before he starts doing his hidey bullshit. So here's what I was saying about the diamond. There's a throw, there's a throw, and then one more. So I'm reloading, there's a throw, and he does his little flex. So I'm late there. I should have got up like a second sooner. Luckily, I got Radiant, so I'm able to bypass his barricade. I just got it though. You can see the timing was very close. So you don't need perfect timing, but you definitely want to be up before he's out of his super. Like you could see he was just coming out of his super as I was starting to shoot. So you got a little window there. Now just land your crits and keep him out in the open. This is perfect. We hit another damage gate to where he's going to be throwing his shields. There's the second group of throws, and here comes the third. 1, 2. Now jump up. Again, I'm just playing way too safe here. I mean, it's good. Like, I could see, but, like, I should be up maybe a second before I'm going up. Like, right when I see that second shield throw, I should be jumping up. But it is what it is. You can see I still have time. Unfortunately, I let him get behind cover, but you can see his health is super low. Like, this was a way quicker damage phase. And then what I should do right now is run up with my super, but he was in a super, so I didn't. But then on that Acolyte, I get an ignition, so then he dies. Where I want to be up there in my super to take him out at the end, so that I can do that, do the finisher. But you do have time. Like, I still probably had another 2-3 seconds there. But I wanted to kill him on my terms, but that ignition got the final kill. But yeah, so that was the heist, whatever the hell, PsiOps Cosmodrome Battleground with Path of Burning Steps Titan. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and a sub, comment if you want. Anyways, thanks for watching to the end. It means a lot, and take care.